Hi, and welcome to this relationship topic. Do you go into fight mode? So let me start with an example. The other day, I took my kid to Inflatable World. It's a great place to go, lots of stuff to jump around for the kids, wear them out for an hour or 2 hours. And yeah, look, there's supervisors there. You just let them go and play. What happened on the weekend is my child, who's 8 years old, got into a match with a older teenage boy, and I didn't see it, but he came back to me where I was sitting and saying, some kid was too rough with me. I basically got flattened and very upset about things. So the first thing is I asked him a bit more about it. I tried to get some clarity. I checked in, was it a younger kid? Was it who wasn't? He said, no, it was a, big teenager, my size, and he really was rough with me. So I said, okay, let's go and see what's happening here. So we went around the where the inflatables were, but we couldn't see him. And then I went back to where I was sitting, and just as my son was running off, he pointed, the boy came back and he actually sat next to us. He was in the table opposite us, and my son just ran off after that. So then I went to the next table and I said, look, excuse me, you know, you know, I know we're all having fun here, but can you be not so rough with the younger kids? And I did it in such a way, not to intimidate him. There were the parents were around there, and I just said, look, just don't be so rough with the younger kids. And look, I've been in a lot of times where I've said to my son, don't be rough. Other parents have said to other kids, don't be rough. Then all of a sudden, this lady who was in the chair started going into, aggro mode, or you call it Karen mode. Your kid was rough as well. They need to get used to it. This is what happens in the real world. If they can't protect themselves, that's their issue. And she started becoming really aggressive and just saying all sorts of stuff, which was ridiculous, right? All I was saying was, just tone it down with the smaller kids. And then she said, oh, he was rough with our kids. I don't know how she came up with that because I don't think she even knew which kid was mine. And said, what's wrong? You can't talk to him like that. And it was obviously she lost the plot. So in this public setting, I just said, look, I'm going to see the manager and let them sort it out. And then I moved away because I knew this lady was in fight or flight. There was no use talking to her because anything I said, she just came up with arguments. She was in fight or flight, just not able to understand what I was saying. She wanted to win or defend her child's behavior. And look, there could have been a number of reasons why she was acting like that. But in this situation, I wouldn't be able to understand her because she wasn't able to speak. She was just being very aggressive. So I got someone else to sort that out, which was the manager. And look, at the end of the day, that was it. I mean, it was a supposed to be a good day. The lady couldn't understand simple behavior. Kids need to, if they're, double the size of someone, they shouldn't be smashing them really hard. But I want to use this case to just review a lot of things that are happening with couples. So when we're in fight or flight, if you want to argue with someone, if you want to work something out, you're really not going to be able to do much. Just like this lady, it was all aggression. I could have stood up for what is right or shouted her down or get into her sort of place, but it was just a waste of my time and energy. To me, it was just basically ridiculous what she was saying. Someone double your size. You're not allowed to have that in boxing. There's weight limits. Men don't play physical sports with women. There's all sorts of things around that happening. It's not safe. People are gonna get hurt. She couldn't understand that. All she was doing was staying to her side of the argument, just a waste of energy. It was a boxing match. I made a conscious decision. It was a waste of my energy and avoided her. In fight mode, basically, we're not going to learn from this. There's going to be damage and anger the longer it goes. And look at any big boxing match. If you watch Rocky, they kept at it. They slugged each other. A lot of boxers are getting brain damage, whatever, right? It's not a healthy thing to do. The person is going to become more aggressive. They're going to try and dominate the conversation. They are incapable of listening to any reason. It could even result in something worse happening. Police get involved. You do something that you regret later. So if you're aware of it's happening, best thing is to see what is the appropriate action and to do that and then just leave it. So that was, like a minor thing that happened on the weekend. Someone got in a fight or flight. I handled it the best way I could. I've used the tools. Now, are you doing this? How often do you do this with your partner? This isn't some random person in an event. This is someone that you live with, an event that's happening every day, or you're seeing this person, every day. How do you clear your state? So, look, if these events are happening, it might happen at work, it might happen socializing, it might happen at home. You need to clear your event. Otherwise, if it happens at work, outside, you're going to bring this energy into the relationship. It's going to end up with that energy being used on your partner or your family. So the idea is take control of your emotional state. You don't want to bring that into the relationship. If you aren't managing it and you're aware of it, then you need to take control of your emotional state. Anytime we go into conflict, we're going to feel a change in state. And look, all sorts of things from the past are going to start to smash us. It could linger for a few hours. It could activate stuff that's going to last for days or weeks. So, using the tools to clear your mind, body, and energy. This includes tapping, empty chair, breath work, a lot of the stuff we've done, basic anger management. Basically, if you don't clear it, others are going to cop it. If that person is your relationship, it's going to leave wounds that are going to cost you big time. So, one of the ways I dealt with Karen meaning someone that is feels that they can just, shout at you, entitled, whatever it is, right? I imagined her image. Then I looked at ways to fade that image away. So I can use a dial. I can imagine a dial, and I'm just turning down the image, down and down, turning down the image till it's faded away. Go into a deeper state by just closing my eyes, working on my breath, and just seeing that image go down and down. If that doesn't work, I could look at other ways. Imagine putting bleach into the image, diluting it, putting paint, whatever you need to do. You just play with a few things and see if that image will go down and down. If that doesn't work, you can use it in a more, if there's a lot of anger, right? If there's lots of stuff happening in your head, then, ask your subconscious, how do I get rid of this image? Just keep asking your subconscious. You might get an image of a TV or just using a hammer or something like that, right? I need to smash it. I need to smash it out of my system. So, a good thing then is to imagine the image is on the TV and you smash that TV. Remember, it's the memory you're dealing with, not smashing the person. Here, Karen could be probably struggling with a lot of things in her life, and it's actually the representation we've created on her. We don't want to smash her in real life. We don't want to smash anyone. We just want to deal with the memory so we haven't got that emotional charge. We're not dealing with an actual person, we're dealing with what's in our head. Put on a TV and smash the TV till it's obliterated. After you've done that, it's good to let go of the release, let go of the charge. So, again, just getting into a good state of breathing, however you do that, discussed a number of ways, and then, forgive that person. If you can let go of it, if you can't forgive it, just how can I let go of it? Connect in your heart space and just imagine just forgiving yourself, forgiving that image. What can you learn from it? What can you forgive? How do you let go? Now, obviously, if you've had an argument with your partner, the idea is we don't want to leave scars. We don't want to, you know, keep causing negativity in the relationship. So the idea in this case is to drop into your heart space and, ask yourself, how do I transfer positive or love into our connection? If I'm too angry, then I need to think of something positive in my life or, something positive that's happened that gets me into my heart space. There's a whole session we do around that. Connect with that good memory and then ask myself, how do I connect with my partner again? If that doesn't work, you use the fade image, empty chair, tapping, lots of other tools we can go over. So, we're basically looking for signs of fight mode and then create a better sign. Okay, so I just, so take your time, journal what's happening with your state, how's it being affected by conflict in your life, and also look at, your partner, how you're managing your your emotions. Okay, so in summary, we're going to be affected by a lot of things out there. We have to just understand how they're affecting our state. Also, when we're dealing with people, notice if they get into fight mode. Also, notice how we go into fight mode. If we start just attacking the person, not listening to them, not able to use the tools like active listening, mirroring, being curious, we're in fight mode. And the longer we stay in mode, the more damage it's going to occur. So understand that if in fight mode, have a timeout, work with your partner. That's the way forward. Hope you found this session useful for you. Thank you.